Sometimes the problem is not that your life is falling apart. It is that your life makes sense, but does not feel like yours. That is a very different kind of discomfort. And because it is quieter, many people ignore it for a long time. From the outside, everything may look fine. The structure looks right. The path looks sensible. You are doing what you are supposed to do. You are following something that makes sense. And yet, something in you stays unconvinced. Not dramatically. Not all at once. Just consistently. Like you are moving, but not fully connected to where you are going. I think this is one of the hardest feelings to explain. Because when life is clearly broken, at least people understand why you feel unsettled. But this is different. Nothing is obviously wrong. And still, something feels off. That can make you doubt your own perception. You tell yourself, this is just how life is. Everyone feels like this sometimes. Maybe I just need to be more grateful. Maybe I just need to keep going. And sometimes that works for a while. You keep functioning. Keep producing. Keep responding to life the way you know how. But the feeling does not fully leave. It stays in the background. Quiet. Persistent. A low-level sense that something is not connecting. That is where this becomes important. Because that feeling is often dismissed too quickly. But what if it is not random? What if it is pointing to something specific? What if you are living a life that was never fully designed for you? That does not mean your life is wrong. It does not mean every choice you made was a mistake. It does not mean everything needs to be thrown away. It means something more subtle. That a lot of what shaped your life may have come from inheritance, not conscious design. Very few people build their lives from a deeply examined place at the beginning. Most people inherit direction. From family. From environment. From culture. From what success is supposed to look like. From what sounds sensible. From what sounds safe. From what gets approval. From what people around you quietly treat as the right kind of life. What you should study. What kind of work makes sense. What kind of pace you should keep. What kind of milestones mean you are doing well. None of that is automatically bad. But it is not always yours. And that distinction matters more than most people realize. Because over time, those influences begin to shape your decisions so gradually that they stop feeling like influences. They start feeling like identity. Like, of course, this is what I want. Like, of course, this is the path. Like, of course, this is what I should be building. Until one day, you are living a life that looks right, but does not feel right. I have seen this show up in very ordinary forms. Someone is in a role that makes perfect sense on paper. It is stable, respected, logical. The kind of thing people congratulate you for. But internally, something does not connect. Not because the role is objectively wrong, but because it does not fully fit the person living it. Or someone is following a lifestyle that everybody around them accepts without question. The same pace, the same structure, the same assumptions about what a good life looks like. But something about it feels heavy. Not dramatic. Not unbearable. Just not natural. And because everything looks fine, they continue. Until that quiet discomfort becomes harder to ignore. That is the difficult part. Misalignment does not always look like failure. Sometimes it looks like success that does not feel the way you thought it would. And that is confusing. Because then you do not just question the life. You question yourself. Why do I feel like this when everything is working? Why does this not feel the way it should? Why do I feel disconnected from something that is technically fine? That is such an important question. Because the answer is not always in what you are doing. Very often it is in whether what you are doing actually fits you. Your values, your pace, your way of thinking, your actual direction. And when those things do not align, you feel it. Not as a perfect answer, not as a neat explanation, but as quiet discomfort, as detachment, as low energy in places that should inspire you, as heaviness around things that technically look fine. That is why this kind of misalignment spreads. It does not stay in one place. It moves into your energy, your motivation, your attention, your relationship with ordinary parts of life. Things take more effort. Decisions feel heavier. Even simple things begin to feel slightly harder to carry. Not because you are weak, because misalignment is becoming more visible. I think that is what many people label as something wrong with me. When really, it may be something about how I am living is not fully mine. That is a very different problem. And it opens a very different kind of door. So instead of asking, "What is wrong with my life?" ask something more precise. What parts of my life feel like they belong to me, and what parts feel inherited? That question requires honesty, not panic, not dramatic change overnight, not an immediate plan, just honesty. Because once that honesty begins, something shifts. You start noticing patterns where you feel more like yourself and where you do not. What gives you energy and what quietly drains it. What feels natural and what feels forced. That awareness grows. Not all at once, but enough. Enough to start adjusting. Small shifts. Subtle decisions. What you say yes to. What you stop explaining away. What you begin to question more honestly. And gradually, your life starts to reflect you more clearly. Not what was expected. Not what was inherited. But what actually fits. That is where relief begins. Not because everything changes instantly, but because you stop trying so hard to fit inside something that was never fully shaped around who you are. So if something in your life has been feeling slightly off, pause. It may not mean you are doing something wrong. It may mean you are beginning to recognize what does not fully belong to you. And once you begin to see that, you begin to move towards something that does. Sometimes that is what clarity feels like at the start. Not certainty. Not a perfect new plan. Just the quiet truth that something you have been calling normal no longer feels honest. And that truth may be more important than it first appears.